Hey folks, this is Tom from Show Me Coasters. Welcome to Doswell, Virginia. We are just 20 miles north of Richmond, Virginia. That's right folks, today we are at King's Dominion. King's Dominion was opened in 1975 by the Family Leisure Centers, a partnership between Taft Broadcasting and Top Value Enterprises. The park has a rich history just like its sister parks. Taft opened Kings Island in '72, just a few years before they opened this one. Its sister parks included Kings Island, Carowinds, Canada's Wonderland, and California Great America. In 2006, they were owned by Paramount and they were sold to Cedar Fair, and that's where we stand now. So let's go inside and explore the park. No folks, you're not seeing double. We are at King's Dominion, I swear. King's Dominion, we are at International Street here. And it has pretty much the same layout as it does at Kings Island. We have the large fountain and the Eiffel Tower at the back. And this is an exact replica of the one that's at Kings Island, which is a 1/3 scale model of the real Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. One of the things that I noticed that's different between King's Dominion and Kings Island is the fountain. This is a much more natural fountain coloring and such. I don't think it's as big either. And it's also a lot more green around it as far as plants and flowers. So the first ride that you come to on International Street is going to be a flight ride called Berserker. It's built by Intamin in 1984 and it looks like a standard Buccaneer ship ride. The only difference is this one actually completes a full loop all the way around, once in each direction before they start slowing it down. So directly behind Berserker is the Dominator. So the Dominator opened in 2008, was built by B&M, and it is a floorless coaster. It's just getting ready to go up. Folks, as I said, the next thing we're going to come to in the International Street section is the Eiffel Tower. This Eiffel Tower is 1/3 the scale of the one in Paris, and it is the exact duplicate of the one at Kings Island. Also included under that would be the grandstand where they have the performance stage. And that's just like the Kings Island also. So let's go up in the Eiffel Tower and get an aerial view of the park. Thanks. The Old Virginia section, this area is themed to a patriotic kind of colonial feel to it. It has several flat rides and a couple coasters here as well. We're going to cover those in just a second. So the first ride you come to when you come into the Old Virginia section is going to be the Shenandoah Lumber Company. That's the Aerodynamics log flume ride, built in 1975, opened with the park. And then directly behind that is Whitewater Canyon, which is the park's intimate whitewater rafting ride. This was built in 1983. It's one of the earlier ones that was built. Today Whitewater Canyon has a pretty long line waiting to ride in. We're going to go to the left here and head on deeper into the Old Virginia section here. So the next ride we're going to come to is going to be the Blue Ridge Tollway, which is the park's antique car ride. Built by Aerodynamics in '75, opened with the park. You know, these rides are always popular, especially with the little ones. They get to drive a car. And directly across from Blue Ridge Tollway is the King's Dominion Theater. This was called Paramount Theater before Cedar Fair took over. And right now they have a show called A Cirque Experience, Origins, which is put on by Cirque du Soleil. Next ride we come to is going to be Flying Eagles, which is a flying scooter ride. It's very similar, well, it's exactly the same as the Lake Erie Eagles at Cedar Point.
I wish I was a tune. I'm not sure if it's already on.
And across from Flying Eagles we have the Grand Prix Raceway. This is the park's go-kart racing track. It costs an additional fee of $8 for the driver, $2, so you're looking at $10 for two people to ride in the same car. So this storefront here is where you go to enter into the Grizzly, to get to the entrance for Grizzly and Dinosaurs Alive. You have to go through the store. Here's the entrance for the Dinosaurs Alive exhibit. And this is the entrance for Grizzly, which is one of the park's wooden coasters. It was built in-house by Taft in 1982. So we're going to head back up towards the main way. So folks, we're getting ready to exit out of the Old Virginia section, and we're getting ready to head into Candy Apple Grove section. So here we are now. We're in the Candy Apple Grove section. This was also known as Coney Island section of the park when it first opened. And a few years later, they rebranded it as the Candy Apple Grove. And eventually it was called just the Grove. And then just recently, they rebranded everything again as Candy Apple Grove. We have the Extreme Sky Flyer, which is the park's sky coaster. It's an extra fee activity.
Thank you. Don't rock the jukebox.
The next ride we come to is going to be the Wind Seeker, which is a Mondial Wind Seeker, 301 feet here at King's Dominion. You can get a really good views of the park from up there as well. So folks, this is what's drawn everybody to King's Dominion this year. Twisted Timbers, the RMC treatment of the Hurler. Just opened this year. It's a great ride. The first drop has that barrel roll in the middle of it. It's incredible. One of the better RMCs that I've ridden this year. So the next ride we come to is going to be Apple. It's directly across from Twisted Timbers. That is a Mock Rides Wild Mouse. It was opened in 2002. Ride we're going to come to is the King's Dominion Racer 75, which is the park's woodland racing coaster. It was originally called Rebel Yell and was rethemed recently to be the Racer. So the Candy Apple Grove is the park's largest section. It also includes the Ferris wheel, which is the next ride that we come to, called Anaconda. This was relocated from Geauga Lake in 2008. There's the giant floor clock, which was just recently restored and put back here, right next to the carousel, where it was whenever the park first opened. And we have the carousel, which was built in 1917. It was relocated here from Rhode Island in 1975. It opened with the park here. So Delirium was added in 2016. That was the park's new ride for that year. It is it's built by Mondial, and it is a giant frisbee discus. Directly across from Delirium is Bad Apple, which is the Huss Troika. This was added in 2012, and it's a Huss Troika, which are kind of common. I don't think this is a second generation one though. Also, it was known as Triple Spin before it was rebranded to Bad Apple again. The ride we come to is going to be the Drop Tower Scream Zone. It's listed as a rotating drop tower, but I did not see it rotate. And the height cannot be confirmed either. But I would think that's probably a 245-foot drop tower. So as you can tell, the Candy Apple Grove is kind of like the Carnival Midway section here. A lot of carnival games along the sides, restaurants, and snack bars as well. That's a really fun place. I can't wait to see it lit up tonight. And right after the drop tower is going to be the Wave Slinger. This was built by Zeiser, and it opened with the park in 1975. And the last ride in the Candy Apple Grove section is going to be Dodgem, which is the park's Dodge cars, which were added in 1975, opened with the park. So we're going to be turning to the right here, entering the Safari Village, which you can see there, the gateway for. So this section of the park was originally opened in 1975 with the park, but it contained a monorail ride through a wildlife preserve, just like they had at Kings Island. They've since taken that out and added more rides. So the first ride that we come to in the Safari Village section is going to be Backlot Stunt Coaster. It was built in 2006. It's a premier LIM launch coaster. These are fun little family coasters that are a lot of fun. They have fire effects with them and everything. They have one at Canada's Wonderland and at Kings Island in Cincinnati. And the next coaster that we're going to come to is Anaconda, which is a aerodynamics looping coaster. It was built in 1991. It was the first coaster at Kings Dominion to have inversion, more than one inversion. And it's also the first coaster to have an underwater tunnel. And the next coaster we're going to come to after Anaconda is going to be Flight of Fear, which is the indoor premier launch, LIM launch coaster, Spaghetti Bowl, which is inside, and a dark ride. Flight of Fear was added in 1996. It also has a duplicate at Kings Island, and I do believe at Canada's Wonderland. And then the next ride is going to be Intimidator 305. That is the park's Giga Coaster. So Intimidator 305 was built by Intamin in 2010. It pays homage to Dale Earnhardt, who was a NASCAR driver that was killed in a race at, I believe, Daytona. He was known as the Intimidator. And 305, besides being the height of the coaster, is also the size of the engine that he ran in his NASCAR stock car. To the right here down this path. Now that should take us around to the volcano. And the first ride we're going to come to is the Scrambler. It was built by Eli Bridge Company and it opened with the park in 1975. This is the volcano entrance. It's built in 1998 by Intamin. It is an inverted launch coaster, and it's partially enclosed inside a building. So it's pretty cool. You shoot out the top, and it's got a crazy track going all the way through. And as we turn this way, we're going to come up on Avalanche. Avalanche is a bobsled coaster built by Mach Rides. It's the only Mach-built bobsled ride in the North America. Right in this section is going to be the Crypt, which is a Huss top spin ride. It has a water and fire feature added to it as well. I don't think it's open today. They're not running it. So folks, that's going to do it for the Safari Village section of the park. This is actually a pretty neat little section of the park. Like I said, I think it's the second largest section. There's a lot of rides in this section of the park. So the Planet Snoopy section is the kids area of the park. It does have 2 coasters inside it. We're going to go and take a look at those, and then we're going to head back towards the front of the park. So the first coaster that we come to is the Great Pumpkin Coaster, which is a little kiddies coaster. It's not too bad. It's great for, it's a training coaster. You know, it's for the little guys. So we'll see if we can get some footage of it. And the other coaster in the Planet Snoopy section is Woodstock Express. Woodstock Express is a wooden coaster. It's a training coaster. They have one just like it at Kings Island, and they're pretty cool little coasters for the little guys to train on, to learn on, before they move on to the big boy rides. Peanuts turn. Alright folks, we're going to head back towards the front of the park, and we'll close out once we get up here. And that's the Woodstock Whirlybirds, which is a teacup ride for the little ones. So we're coming out of the Planet Snoopy section, heading back into International Street. Got the Eiffel Tower right here. We're going to turn left and head back towards the front of the park. So International Street is the park's welcome entry plaza. It has the same architecture like you do at Kings Island, with it being the European village style architecture. This section has a couple of flat rides. So folks, that's going to do it today. I'm Tom from Show Me Coasters. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you the next time when we come to you from Carowinds at Charlotte, North Carolina. Have a great day.